Hi guys, welcome to The Trade, episode 60. Today, I am interviewing Sara Goetter. Thanks for joining me, Sara.
Oh, yeah, nice to be here.
And I want to give an apology to everybody real quick. I'm sorry there wasn't an October post. Unfortunately, I got severe migraines plus just swamped with work and several other creators I was going to interview. Same thing happened, either illness or it's still con season pretty much right now. And October is a really good one for a lot of conventions and art shows. So everybody was just kind of a little too busy to be able to squeeze in a podcast. So these things happen every once in a while. We usually don't miss one, but hey, no problem. You know, sometimes you just got to roll with the punches. So thank you so much for joining me, Sara. I appreciate a bit of your time.
Yeah, no problem.
Sara, you are a creator of several comics, I see. I'm checking out all your website and your Twitter, and I mean, you've got a list going on. How long have you been making comics?
I mean, I've been posting comics like on the internet. I guess starting with Boozle, I guess, back in 2013. And since then I've been doing like shorts and also Boozle and also a couple other like web comics and projects and such.
So since about 2013, you've been drawing them, or a little earlier than that, or?
I mean, I've been drawing comics. I've been drawing comics since I was like 10. But I've been posting them online since I was around since around 2013 is when I got into webcomics.
You debuted on the internet,
yeah,
at least.
Yeah, I mean, I did like fan art and fan comics on Tumblr before then, but I think formally 2013 is when I started posting like serious projects.
Very nice, very nice. And I see you have a Patreon up, though, as well. Is that mainly to help support you doing all your smaller projects? And I see Boozle's also connected to that.
Yeah, it's primarily just for, like, if people want to support my work. It's more, when I launched it, I thought it would be more, like, focused on Boozle, but since I've been, I'm, like, officially on a break with it, so now it's more of a general, if you like my work, you can support me on Patreon kind of deal.
Very nice. Very nice. Do you have anything published right now?
Published, I have a comic in Boom's regular show anthology. It's about as much as I have like formally published, and then I'm in a bunch of anthologies as well. Like I'm in the Valor anthology, Oath, Chainmail Bikini. I've been in a number of those as well.
How do you find the time to do all of those?
I mean, a lot of them are like pretty low pressure comics. Like I don't know, like with Chainmail Bikini, it's an autobio comic, which I do a lot of anyway. So it's pretty easy to find time to do like a 4-page autobio comic for an anthology.
Very nice, very nice. So, you know, overall, if somebody was starting to get into comics now, do you have any advice for them?
I feel like comics change so quickly that it's hard to give advice. Because what happened with me is that I did a lot of it. I mean, I guess anthologies is a really nice way to start out. I still feel like I'm starting out still, even though it's been like 4 years. But I don't know, like webcomics have changed very significantly since I started posting them. Like back in like 2012 and 2013, I don't know, it seems like a lot of people now have like these beautifully painted, like gorgeous, epic fantasy comics. Well, I kind of just did like I don't know. It's just like a side project that I did for fun. I don't know.
And it just sort of grew?
Yeah. It just seems like a lot of people have like these gorgeous, fully rendered, like beautifully painted webcomics to like even be noticed even. I don't know. To start out, though, I think anthologies are a good place to start because I don't know, they tend to take a lot of new people, and being able to be able to tell a concise story within a page count, I think is a good skill to have in general.
Yeah, just being able to do a couple of shorts, you know,
Yeah,
1-2 page usually gets you really in the door a lot of times.
yeah. And then you can put those like the way most anthologies work is that you also get the rights back in a year, and you can do what you want with them, or you can put them on your portfolio. But like, I don't know, it gives, like, doing a bunch of anthology work gives you a body of work that you can point other people to.
Definitely helps you build yourself up too, build
Yeah,
your confidence, you know, build your page count, teaches you, just teaches you in general. It's the doing part.
yeah. And even if you don't do anthologies, like, or if you don't get in, just doing short stories in general, I think, is a good way to start. Because one of my early comics, called Haircut, um, it kind of blew up on the internet a little bit, but I did that because I wanted to apply to the Beyond anthology back in 2014, but I didn't have I didn't have it together enough to apply in time, so I just did the comic I would have applied with anyway. And then, I don't know, it was pretty successful, so I think it's worth it just to do comics in general.
Well, you know, like myself, you know, a lot of times I've got a full-time day job.
Ah,
And
well,
plus I have to help family and things like that. So I don't have a huge amount of spare time myself.
hmm,
That's why so many of my comics are kind of short, or
yeah,
I do strip comics and the like. And so frequently I found that a number of people, if I really wanted to do an anthology, but you know what, I just missed their deadline, I
mhm,
still take note of what they were wanting, and you know, kind of give myself a project on the side and
yeah,
use that and make my own. Yeah.
yeah. I wouldn't say it's like looked out, but I've mostly had like part-time retail jobs, so I kind of just have a bunch of time on my hands to draw comics. Um,
So you do generally have like a day job, more or less?
yeah, I do have a day job, typically like retail, like 25 hours a week or something.
Same here.
Yeah.
That's actually been some of my auto bio comics that I'm working on right now, is stories from my retail job.
Ah,
Oh God, I
yeah.
have some stories.
Yeah, the next project that I'm doing is about a woman in in a retail shop. There's definitely a lot of material to mine from it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. It's a pretty good place to, you know, start and be building yourself up. I had to take a bit of time off just because of illness and the like, and I just got overwhelmed with bills, and sometimes you just have to go
Yeah.
ahead and put your art projects aside to take care of you and get your shit back together again.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I know all about that.
We're only human after all.
Yeah.
You know, there's a bunch of stories I want to tell, and I know you probably still have a ton you want to tell, but
Mhm.
I don't always have the time to tell them. That's been part of my problem, at least.
Yeah. If only there was like the hyperbolic time chamber from Dragon Ball Z, where you
Oh,
where you go in and you spend like a whole year in a day. That's what I want.
that would be lovely. Oh man. So inspiration wise, do you have any artist or anything that actually inspires you to make your work?
Um, I mean, as a kid, I um, was actually Captain Underpants is what got me into comics in general. Um, because I mean, I don't know, I just didn't have any access to actual like superhero comics or any other kind of comics. Like, I never knew where a comic book store was, but there was Captain Underpants at the Scholastic Book Fair, and so I got really into those, and I did my own like Captain Underpants stories as a kid. And from there,
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, so from there, then I like went on to like I discovered anime, and then like Dragon Ball Z and SpongeBob were also very big to me, like growing up. I don't know. I feel like that says a lot. Just like Dragon Ball Z and SpongeBob is what turned into my style and work and how I think about like jokes and action and stuff like that. But yeah, these days it's a lot of like I really like Jillian Tamaki's work. Like Meredith Grant with Octopus Pie is also a big influence for me. Yeah, stuff like that. Oh yeah, also like Naoki Urasawa with like Pluto is also huge.
Very cool.
Yeah.
It's fun. I mean, it's fun also, you know, just finding new inspiration. Instagram, I get sucked into that all the time.
Oh yeah. Like I've been what I'm really into right now. There's a manga series called Delicious in Dungeon. It's about like a group of like adventurers go into a dungeon and they prepare food out of dungeon monsters, and it's really cute and charming, and like the jokes are really like they land really well, and it's very inspiring.
Very cool.
Yeah, I mean, because
I'll have to look that one up.
Yeah, because I work on a comic with Natalie Reese called Dungeon Critters, so it's like this goofy fantasy adventure story that I'm really into right now, I guess.
Do you work traditionally, digitally, a combination of both?
I do all of my pencils and inks traditionally, like pencils, inks, and hand lettering and paneling and all that. All that's traditional, and then I scan it and I finish doing like coloring and cleanup in Photoshop.
Just strictly Photoshop?
Yep, just Photoshop. I'll use like Clip Studio Paint to do flatting sometimes, but that's about the extent that I use it.
Do you have a tablet?
Technically I do. It's a Wacom Graphire 4 tablet from 2006. It's 4 inches by 5 inches. And
little bitty guy.
yeah, it's like 11 years old at this point.
Hey, whatever works.
Yeah, I mean, like, it still works, and it's kind of falling apart, but it still works. Eventually, I need to replace it. But that is a problem for future Sarah. So.
Well, let me suggest to you and anybody else that's looking for it, check out monoline.com.
Oh, yeah.
I spent $80 on this guy.
Oh, nice.
He's huge, as you can tell. Just
yeah.
Big old boy.
Is that monoline or is that monoprice? Or are those two different things?
Monoprice and monoline, some company.
Oh, same company? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you can find them either way. And they've got some, actually, they got some higher quality tablets, of course, than that. Some portable ones and the like that are very, very inexpensive and very comparable, at least in use and programs and overall, well, just user friendliness too. I've heard people constantly touting them. I've got a lot of photography friends that use a lot of monoprice and monoline products.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that they're a reasonable, like, alternative to Cintiqs. I've also heard good things about the Unova tablets.
Yes, I've heard some of those as well.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to get my hands on any yet, but that doesn't mean I haven't heard from several good, reliable people that have said some wonderful things about them.
Yeah, I think I have a couple of friends that, like, they mentioned getting a Unova tablet, and I was like, you should tell me how that works. And they were like, yeah, and then I forgot to follow up on that.
Oops.
Well, I can always ask them later.
True enough. Okay, so what do you think is the hardest part in your creative process?
The hardest part? Probably the hardest and simultaneously the most rewarding is probably getting writing done really well. Like writing is always the part that I like. I really have to like concentrate. I can't do anything else while I'm writing. Like I can't listen to music or podcasts or anything. Like I just have to write. But and I don't know. But it's really rewarding when I like. I don't know, when it like works out, when it like comes together in a really nice and satisfying way.
Did you learn writing from any particular source, or did you just kind of dive into it and learn it as you went?
I've just been writing comics enough that I don't know. If you just do enough of it, it works out, I guess. I never really formally studied writing comics, I guess. I don't know. It's just a thing that I've done for so long that it's just like second nature to me, I guess. Like I have that thing where like something happens to me, I like immediately put it into comic form in my brain. I don't know. It's like stuff like that. Like it, I don't know, thinking in panels and stuff.
I've definitely gotten to that myself.
Yeah.
Are there any missteps that you've had, you know, any stumbles and bumbles you don't mind talking about?
Just like with comics in general? Or
Yeah.
I mean, I had personally a very rough year the past like year and a half or so. Yeah, in 2016, I don't know. It just like a lot of things happened at once where I broke up with my boyfriend, I came out as gay, and then my mom died all within like a couple months of each other.
Oh man, that is definitely a gut punch. Ooh.
Yeah, it was a lot, and I just didn't draw very much in general. Like it was just not a good time. But I mean,
yeah.
I don't know.
That's a lot of mourning process. That's a lot of just processing life right there. That yeah, sometimes you just got to take a break from everything and do.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It was just, yeah. That was probably like my biggest fumble, I guess, was just having a really rough personal life, and also like politics was bad. And,
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just a lot of things all at once. Also, I also like had a big move in there. Like I moved from Pennsylvania to Texas in that time. I don't know. It was just like
that's a good size move. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a pretty big one. I don't know. It was just a lot of things happened at once, and I was not able to work on comics at all. But I don't know. A lot of people were really supportive during that time, though. Like I had a lot of really good friends, and even like Boozle readers were really supportive. While I didn't update the comic for a while, I don't know. Like Boozle commenters are like the nicest people on the internet. I found. I don't know. They're all just like very supportive.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, which
that really is.
Seems kind of rare, which it shouldn't be, but I don't know. They've always been very understanding with like my wild update schedule.
Oh, you can't always predict life.
Yeah.
We try our best to stick to a schedule, but it doesn't always work.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what have been some of the biggest insights you've gained from being a cartoonist drawing comics?
Man, I don't know. Because like, I still feel like a baby in comics. Because even though I've been doing this since 2013, I don't know. It still feels like I'm just getting started. I don't have like any big wise insights. I don't know. Like the people that I've met in comics though have been invaluable to me. Like the friends that I've made in comics are like some of my best friends I have at the moment. Like just in general, like they're all everyone like a lot of people in indie comics are just really smart and like know what they're yeah, I'd say they know what they're doing, more so than me at least. And it's just like nice to have a like an actual community of people that I don't know, we're all kind of like looking out for each other, which has been really nice.
Yes, the nice thing about I found about the whole comics community in general, at least more of the indie guys, is anytime we find something new, we discover something interesting, something new comes out, we all talk, you
Yeah.
know.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
a lot of the a lot of the older cartoonists don't talk; they shut up. And
Huh.
I thought it was kind of interesting that us younger batch that are coming in and kind of finding our own and getting our feet wet and whatnot, we're just more vocal about, hey, I found this, it works pretty good, you guys should try it.
Yeah, for better or for worse, indie comics definitely talks. Uh,
Definitely. It might be a little TMI on our side, but hey,
yeah.
why not?
I mean, yeah, it's been really nice to have like a community of like people who I trust that I don't know to like put me in the right direction for like things that are nice and helpful, or like we're all like figuring out comics as we go anyway. So to have like people that are I feel like are ahead of me, like to, like look back and be like, hey, you should try out this thing, or like my friend Carrie Peach put together a spreadsheet of how to calculate how long a comic's going to take. So she like made a whole spreadsheet of like you put in your date and how many comic pages you have to do, and it calculates how long it'll take. And I don't know, it's like stuff like that has been like really nice.
Yeah, that's definitely invaluable.
Yeah.
Do you have any current projects coming up that you're looking forward to, or any plans for the future that you want to fulfill?
Um, I have one giant project I can't talk about yet, which is probably annoying to say on a podcast. But yeah, so I have one big secret thing, and then I have oh no, I'm currently working on a Animal Crossing fan comic with Natalie. Called KK Summer Jams Mix, which is about Isabel and Lottie on a road trip. We're working on getting that finished up. Um, and then in the future, oh no, I've been doing a lot of collaborative comics with Natalie lately, which is a totally different way of approaching comics than I'm used to. Rather than just doing everything by yourself, to have like another person to collaborate with has been really cool and helpful. I don't know. So I hope to do more comics with her in the future. Is my main thing. Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
Very fun. Do you recommend anybody wanting to get into comics, maybe trying a collaborative effort?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's definitely good to have someone to like, because I think the main collaborative thing is like one person's the writer and one person's the artist. But because me and Natalie are both artists and writers, we bounce off of each other in like a pretty interesting way, I think. I don't know. Like to have someone that can like to write something and then give it off to someone else and they make it better is like a really cool thing. I don't know. It just like it helps. It helps make this whole hard comic thing a little bit easier. I wish more people would try it out at least.
It would definitely be fun.
Yeah.
Your collaborator, bleh, if I can say the word, are they close by, or is it all through email and messaging and whatnot? You talk to one another and bounce ideas off of each other.
I mean, we used to live in the same state, but then I moved, so most of it's been over, like texting and like email and stuff like that. Like we have a Dropbox that we like share, so we drop files in to show each other, and then we just like talk over text or whatever.
Yeah, because I know a lot of collaborators. Some of them live local to one another, so it makes it easier. Some of them, it's only over the internet, you know, and text messaging and the like. They keep up. Some of them found it very frustrating, you know, either being close or far away. I mean,
yeah, I mean, it's different for everyone.
oh yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
I mean, I usually see Natalie at least every couple of months because we like travel to shows together. So I usually at least see her so we can talk about projects that we're working on and stuff like that. So it's not like I never see her ever.
Right.
Okay.
Do you do a lot of conventions?
I do like maybe like 4 or 5 a year, maybe. Like I always do.
Are they more, oh, sorry.
I'm sorry.
Are they more local to you? Are they local, or are they farther out, or are they the big guys, the medium guys?
I mean, when I lived in Pennsylvania, I usually just did all the East Coast shows because they were pretty easy to just drive to. But now I just do mostly, like I always do TCAF and SPX because those are the big ones to go to. Like even if I don't table, I always go to visit because all my friends are there. But yeah, I do Staple, which is local to Austin, and I did FlameCon and Mice this past year. FlameCon's in New York City, and Mice is up in Boston. And they're both just like, I don't know, they've just been like really cool shows to. I've never done FlameCon before. So it was nice to do like an LGBT focused con. And Mice is just like the nicest like staff, I think. I don't know. Because they have like happiness officers that go around and give you food during the whole show.
Oh,
and
that is nice.
Yeah, so they're very focused on making it like comfortable for the creators, which is really cool. I don't know. I love Mice a lot. So even though I moved away, I still try to go to it.
Very fun. So would you recommend any particular con to somebody that's just starting out?
Yeah, I don't know. I recommend at least like applying for most shows. If they're local to you, you might as well you can apply. Like SPX has this whole lottery thing where they don't curate it, so it doesn't really like even if you're just starting out, you can still apply. I don't know if I would recommend doing SPX for your first show because that's the biggest East Coast indie show. And that sounds overwhelming to do as your first show. But
most cons seem to be pretty overwhelming to most people to begin with. So.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if you're just starting out, like I don't know. I feel I visited a lot of shows before I tabled at them, just so I at least like know what they're like in general. I don't know. I'd say like if you're just starting out, at least visit them to see if this is what you want to get into. I guess that's what I would recommend.
Definitely. It's definitely a good way to just get a feel of things and just talk to the creators in general, saying, "Hey, how's the con going? I was thinking about maybe tabling here in a year or two. What do you think?" Yeah. You know. And things always change. I know more and more creators are only doing like a couple shows a year and that's it. And they stick mostly to their online presence and building that there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've noticed that too. Like a lot of people are scaling back on conventions.
I've heard from a lot of people that, yeah, unfortunately, a lot of them just can't afford to go to as many cons as they used to. Mm-hmm. The money's just not there.
Yeah. Yeah, I usually, yeah. I kind of just go to cons, like whether, I don't know. At least with like TCAF and SPX, I just determined to go no matter what, just because that's where my friends are. To me, conventions are more of like, there's definitely shows that I go to that I have the intention to sell, but there's also like the cons that I go to purely for the social aspect, I guess, of comics. Like I got jobs because I went to TCAF and showed publishers and people like my peers like my work, and I was offered to be in like anthologies and stuff like that as a result of that. I think stuff like that you don't really get as much on like just focusing online.
So more networking and more like just making friends.
Yeah, making friends is a big part of it. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, like to me, like TCAF and SPX are just like a huge social thing rather than just making money purely.
Have you been to any of the West Coast ones like Emerald City or Ape?
Right, yeah. I also did Emerald City this past year for the first time. That was the first time I did a huge, like, 4-day show, which was overwhelming. I don't know. It was like a different crowd than I'm used to because I almost strictly do like SBX, TCAF, like smaller. Well, I guess they're not small, but like 2-day indie shows is what I'm typically used to. So doing like a whole 4-day thing, it's definitely different.
Definitely builds up your stamina.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right. So have you what would advice would you give to your younger self even 4 years ago?
Oh man. I don't know. I don't think. Hmm.
Like, would you do anything particularly different than what you did then versus now?
I feel like I would probably not have a giant webcomic project. Like, I would probably focus more on doing short stories because that's what I ended up enjoying doing more. But I also, like, at the same time, I don't really regret having a giant webcomic project in general. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to give advice to myself when I think like, so far, it's been okay. I don't know. Yeah. I probably would tell myself that, like, hey, it's okay to focus on short fiction rather than your giant 10-year comic project that you're probably going to lose steam on.
Right.
Um,
Well, overall, do you think working as an indie creator is more just personally fruitful versus working for any of the bigger guys?
I mean, I don't have any experience working for the bigger guys. Like, I did like the one Boom short, but it's about I just don't have the experience versus like working for big guys.
Would you want to?
I don't know. With like, I don't have the style to work with Marvel or DC, and I'm not sure if I would want to anyway, because I'm just not interested in superhero comics in general. Um, and yeah, I don't know. I would definitely like to do more like print stuff though in general. Um, yeah.
Well, have you heard about Netflix going to start streaming comics?
Oh, really? I
Yeah, yeah, that
I
just popped up in my news feed today, in fact, for myself.
Oh wow, I had no idea. I've been hoping for something like that for like a while. Is it going to be like just superhero comics or?
They haven't specified any particular genres they were going to stick with, so it looks like it's going to be kind of an open,
Hmm.
at least open season right now when they're first starting out.
Yeah, because I have I subscribe to Crunchyroll, and they have like a manga selection that you can read like for a subscription service, which I really like. But unfortunately, it's not that expansive. Like, I've read some really good comics on the Crunchyroll app, but I just want more. I wish I wish Viz would do the same kind of thing because like the Viz library is so vast that I would love to just
Yeah.
like have a subscription service to that.
Yeah,
Like,
that would actually be pretty awesome if they could get themselves together enough to at least just do a online streaming service of their library, just their
yeah,
library. They didn't even have to do the newest stuff. They could do all their old stuff.
yeah. Like I subscribe to like Weekly Shonen Jump, which is only like 50 cents a week or something. Um, I'm really bad about actually reading it, but I know that it's there, which is comforting to me if I want to read it. And it's
Especially
like,
when you're sick,
yeah,
you know, you're sick and you're stuck and you're just like, I'm reading this all.
yeah, yeah. No, I've been really wanting a comics streaming site. That'd be cool. I just hope it's
Yeah.
stuff that I actually want to read and not just like DC comics.
So you're what all genres do you work in? I know you work in more like fantasy and cute animals and wizards.
Yeah, like fantasy is definitely my wheelhouse, but I really like doing autobio and slice of life is also a big one for me. My next big solo project is a comic called My Cat Can Talk and Honestly I Hate It. And it's a slice of life comic about a woman who works in retail who hits a magical flying cat creature with her car, and they become roommates because of it. It's like a slice of life, but with like a fantastical twist to it. I don't know. I also did like a slice of life about high school stage crew for like I kind of abandoned that practice a little bit, but it was called Behind the Scenes, and it was just like a straight up slice of life about stage crew. That was really fun to work on.
Well, you know, sometimes a project just has to end and you just have to let it go. I'm having to figure that out the hard way myself with my strip. I've been struggling with it for the past several years, and I know it was just more of a learning experience for me than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't have a huge amount of readers or followers, and that's fine. You know, that's how you learn and grow, is by making. And you know, I have a few more written for it and whatnot, but I think I'm gonna let it go.
Yeah, I mean, with my problem with it was that I started it and then I rewrote it in a way. Like after I started it, I did a lot of rewriting for it, and I liked my rewritten version better. So it just kind of discouraged me from working on it, I guess. I definitely would like to go back to it one day, but I would just probably just start over and do it the way that I rewrote it. So I don't know. It just happens.
Yeah, it's the organic flow of story.
Yeah. Yeah, no, my next project is probably going to be a slice of life kind of thing, which I'm really looking forward to.
Well, it definitely sounds like fun.
Yeah.
I look forward to it, at least. All right. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining me here on the podcast today. I appreciate you taking your time.
Oh, yeah. No, thanks for having me. This is nice.
All right, guys. Now, I wanted to review real quick an anthology I've actually backed on Kickstarter. Kel McDonald was talking about it on her Twitter about a year ago, and she was one of the main editors of it. Is Can I Pet Your Werewolf? And that one just came in the mail the other day, and it's been a lot of fun short stories about werewolves in urban settings. A lot of them are just, you know, family, slice of life type. I mean, it's a lot of fun, actually. So
Nice.
I want to recommend that to anybody that wants to check out another anthology that just recently came out.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any other anthologies you would recommend people reading?
This is where I admit that I haven't really been reading a lot of anthologies recently. Yeah.
But what's some of your favorite ones?
Oh man. I mean, like I really like the Valor anthology that I was in 2014. I've heard, I didn't personally read it, that much of it, but what I read of Power and Magic that came out sometime last year, that one was really good. Yeah, man, I just really haven't been reading anthologies since like 2015 or something.
Well, sometimes when you work in enough of them, you don't always get a whole lot of reading time around it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'll put links down in the doobly-doo for all of Sarah's work and anything we've discussed today. So again, thank you so much for joining me. Hope to see you again, guys. See you next month.
See ya. Bye.